take the straight long path.
Yeah.
It is the shortest way to success. People try all the hacks, all the shortcuts, but they're actually longer. So take the straight long path. It's actually the shortcut to success.
He's made some killer liners and come today on the episode. No, he's
Yeah.
like worked extra hard so that we get more reels on him, so that we can slow-mo the camera on him and put some motivational music in the background.
You're tuned into the Alpha Coach Podcast.
If you think you know it all, then you definitely don't know it at all. I mean, the pool of knowledge is infinite and there is so much to learn, there is so much to understand. As human beings, we definitely cannot know everything at 100% capacity. That is why we've got coaches, mentors, we've got people to help us, guide us, to take us through this journey. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Glenn Saldana. I'm a radio host and a podcaster. We've got Ketan, the founder, CEO of Alpha Coach. Hello.
Hey Glenn,
How are
how are
you?
you?
I'm good. Hota hai. After a very long time when you come back, this is what happens. And we've got Vishnu, co-founder and chief product officer of Alpha Coach. How are you doing?
I'm good, Glenn. How are you?
It's very good to have you boys on the show. Also, speaking about Alpha Coach, speaking about the big heavy jargon that we used in our previous episodes where we spoke about fitness, where we spoke about health, diet and all of these things. You guys are the karta dharta, everything of this particular application, and you guys speak the language of fitness. Did you practice what you preached? It was the month of December. It was the holiday season. We're just out of it. We're in the new year. Have you started?
Yeah, so obviously December was full of parties. There were occasions. There was Christmas. There was travel. There was family. So we did let our hair down a little bit. Of course, we traveled to 2 cities, came back. I probably put on a couple of kgs, but that's part of life, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I call them happy kgs or happy calories that you sort of have. But yeah, I mean, it's been 3 weeks since we got back. I'm already down 2 kgs. I'm already focused on my weight and my journey. And yeah, back on track, man, completely.
Interesting. Vishnu, what about you?
Same here. I was pretty much on track through the New Year phase. Nothing changed much. When exercise has been in place, nutrition was quite okay during the New Year time as well. So I'm back on track.
I think Vishnu probably just sat at home and meditated, and said, I don't want to party and go kawabanga and everything. I'll just sit and chill. I don't want to
I actually did not travel at all. Because,
He probably said, I don't want to do the Glenn and Ketan thing. Let me just chill. Let me be myself. Okay, guys, we were speaking about coaching and mentorship, and I mentioned initially when we started this episode especially, we can't know everything all the time. We can know some things at some point of time, and the pool of knowledge is infinite. I grew up in the 90s, late 2000s, where going to tuitions was a trend, after school. Obviously to study and more importantly to find your crush. But going for tuitions was interesting. It was an interesting concept where the tuition teacher mentored you, taught you what you... I mean, obviously, आप school में तो पढ़ ही लेते थे, but this was more personal focus towards your academics. Like, for example, I used to go for a math tuition, so I got more attention for that particular subject. So my idea of mentorship or coaching began with my tuition teacher.
Yeah.
What was it for you? Your first mentor or coach?
One of the most prolific figures in my life, obviously, was also my dad. Right?
Okay.
I mean, he had truly great man. He taught us obviously how to live, how to behave, but as all parents in the 80s, he's fearful. I mean, we were really this thing of him, right? At the end of the day, he taught us everything that we know. But, and all the life lessons that one needs to sort of know about, how to this thing, how to treat other people, a lot of things that he taught us. So I think he was obviously my first official or unofficial mentor in life, really.
I must say this. I know Ketan for a few years and hats off to your dad because he did really, really well.
Thank you.
Very, very, very well. And believe me, and I say this not for effect, but I know him on a personal front and professional front, and kudos. I think
I thank them every day. I thank him and
Vishnu, for you, who was your first coach or mentor? Like I said, my tuition teacher. For you, who was it?
For me, it was again my parents were the first mentors, right? From there we learned something or the other from everyone around, even from you and Ketan.
Right.
Pick up stuff.
Right. You know what I really liked what you said was the fact that you can learn from everybody. You can pick up experiences from everybody and take the good, and they become your coaches. They become your mentors. Very honestly, for me, a coach is somebody who can see beyond a particular situation, who can guide you, who can mentor you, who can show you the way, who can tell you, okay, here's where you're stuck.
Yeah.
Let me carve the pathway for you. Let me open the closed door for you. Let me tell you how you can unlock this door. So Vishnu, in terms of fitness per se,
Yeah.
what is a coach? Now everybody knows a coach is somebody who will train you, but I think coaches go beyond just training.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a difference from learning from your surroundings, like I said, and coaching in a professional
Right.
setting, right? So when a trainee approach you for coaching, they are trying to make a change that they find it difficult to make in a normal circumstances. Let's assume a trainee is reaching out to you with a readiness to change of 4 out of 10, and the job of the coach is basically to help him move to 8 out of 10 in that readiness to change. That's where coaching comes into picture, right? It means helping the client leverage his existing skills to reach there, and then probably help him build new skills. Like from a fitness coaching perspective, one of the common thing that we see with busy people who want to exercise is that they just don't find time to exercise.
Yeah, that's the most common thing. I don't have time to exercise.
And you can give a blanket solution. You need to go hard, do it kind of thing, or you can see what skills they already have that we can leverage. Let's take Ketan for an example. Extremely good at managing time. Like he manages his work calendar so well, right? Now that's his skill. And if he's saying that he can't manage his, not finding enough time to train, the first thing is you already have the skill. Why don't you block your time on your Google Calendar? So then it's blocked for you. That's a skill. Then the client feels, oh, it's already I have a skill, versus trying to start new skills from day one. So this is where good coaching is a bit complex. It's not about giving advices, giving motivation or anything. It's helping
Practical solutions.
helping clients or trainees help themselves, leveraging their own skills and helping them build new skills so that they can go beyond.
I can swear by this that Ketan manages time so brilliantly that time asks him tips after how to manage time.
Yeah.
Like he's so brilliant with his
Right,
framework and his blueprint. Like everything is like, I'm like, okay.
Subodh from
yeah,
Dil Chahta
he is Subodh from Dil Chahta. Like when I want to call him up, he's like, oh, in a meeting, 3 to 5. I'm like, dude, I'm your friend. Like, what is meeting 3 to 5? I'm like, bro, but that is brilliant because that's how you'll manage anything in life. I mean, at least if you're running a business and you've got so many things to fit in. Very interestingly put in terms of fitness, but in terms of life and in terms of business, can you give us a little dope on coaching?
So I'll just pick up from where Vishnu sort of left off, right? So coaches have their prime goal is to help you and mentor you and elevate you, right? At the end of the day, so they've already passed that particular path. They've already been there, done that.
The dark road, they've crossed it.
Yeah, they've already been there, done that. They know how to navigate it. It may not be the exact same path that you will take because it's always different, but they've been on a similar path. They've had their own trials, their tribulations. They've actually crossed those hurdles, right? So they know how to manage when things sort of come swinging your way, right? And therefore, there is usually, like if there are friends, if there are colleagues, or this thing that are trying to guide you along the way,
Right.
there may be a sense of conflict, a sense of whatever, right? Jealousy, anything that can creep up. But in the eyes of mentors, there's never this thing.
Neutral.
Then absolutely, their only goal is to help you elevate. Their only this thing is there, and this applies in everything. Like when tuition teachers, they obviously didn't compete with you with marks. My father didn't compete with me in how I did at school or anything in life. The same with mentors who've been there, already successful. And that's why you need to choose people who've been there and done that rather than just anybody else who claims to be a mentor or a coach, right? That's the important part. So that's the reason why coaches really help in anything.
Very beautifully put. A coach is somebody who will elevate your performance, who will identify the good in you, who will say, okay, this is this XYZ person's true potential. Let's see how we can leverage this. Let's see how we can, like a point he made was very interesting. Like instead of starting out on new skills, first help the person already leverage what they have and then build on new skill sets and whatever, so that the overall growth of the person is taken to a different level altogether. I'll tell you something about my fitness coach, my first fitness coach, and Venancio, this one's for you, man. I remember I didn't feel like working out and training that day, and it was a very bad day at work, and I was completely demotivated, and I was almost in tears, and I'm going to say this on the chat. And I remember how we went into class with affirmations, and I'd never heard affirmations prior to that particular class. And we were doing shoulder presses. So every time we did a shoulder press, we said an affirmation, and we were 3 or 4 of us in class. He still took that class and he went like, tonight we lift our grief. Tonight we lift our sorrows. Tonight we lift our pains. Tonight we lift everything that's putting us down. And we landed up doing about 150 shoulder presses. And after the class, not only was I feeling great, obviously because I'd managed to do 150 shoulder presses, but the fact that my spirit was uplifted, I was a different person, my energy, my aura, everything was different. I was like, how did this happen? And I think that is what a coach can do. I mean, people who go beyond just the normal situation. And sometimes, I think at every point of time, we all need help. Ketan, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, I mean, see, what do coaches do for you, right? Think about a car,
Right.
And the engine. Say you're a car, and the engine is your coach, right? Now look at it from a sports car perspective, right? Where is the engine? It's at the back.
Right.
It's a rear-driven sort of vehicle, right? Because you need all the strength, all the energy, all the speed
To propel ahead.
right? All
Right.
the power to propel
Exactly.
ahead. In a sedan, which is a comfortable drive, you need to navigate through city roads, etc. You need a front-wheel drive because it is powerful, yes, but having said that, it needs to navigate through smaller things. Imagine a 4x4. What does it need to do? It needs to power all wheels because you could be off-roading and then some wheels may not even be touching the ground at that point. So all wheels need to run. And sometimes you need to be a minivan, right? At which point it needs to be safe, stable. You got kids in the
Absolutely.
back, you got dogs, whatever, right? So the engine is where the placement of that engine or the way it delivers power to the car is what the coach does, depending. So that's what, as in our terminology, we call hyper-personalization. So it's built around how your life is, how schedules, how your, like he said about me being able to block time at a certain hour. I actually have a go time thing in the mornings for my training, etc. Right? So it only works if it's built around you and your goals, your limitations, your access to various things, etc., right?
So,
that's
so are you telling me that the Alpha Coach app, for example, which is your baby,
right.
This hyper-personalization, does this happen over there? Like, obviously it has to in a certain way.
It has to.
Can you give us a little more details about like how and what?
So here we follow something known as a client-centric coaching. That's
Okay.
exactly what Ketan said. So the two types of coaching: there's coach-centric coaching and client-centric coaching.
Okay.
Right? Typically, what you do is, let's say, in a gym that you come across. Let's say I am a coach, and let's say I've gone through a transformation, and you see that see Vishnu, you've gone through a transformation. I would also like to do this.
I did see your transformation.
Yeah.
I did see your transformation.
Yeah. So you say, like, okay, what do I need to do?
Huh.
Then in a coach-centric approach, what I'll do is I'll try to throw some scientific jargons and tell you that, okay, you need to be on 1,400 calories, you need to walk 15,000 steps a day, you need to work out 5 times a week and be consistent at it. I'll try to kind of give you answers readily, right? But 9 out of 10 times it just does not work because I am
You're
very
right.
different
Thank you
from
for admitting this.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's very difficult because people have different mindsets. So how do you? It's impossible.
So in a client-centric approach, what we normally do is, it depends. The answer is always it depends. You get to know what is the context from where you are coming from. Why do you want to do a transformation in the first place? What is going to change if you kind of transform, right? And what is your social support that you have at home? What is your readiness to change? Are you willing to put in that amount of work, or how much time do you have? All those things matter. Are you a vegetarian, non-vegetarian? Are you a vegan? Can you actually take out so much time in a week consistently for so much period of time? Right. So many things come into play, and then we try to let you answer where you could be in the next 4 years and how your life would transform. We ask about the 5 whys. We always talk about why do you want to do what you want to do, right? When we have a solid answer to that, we'll build a program that fits into your lifestyle, that you can follow, that you cannot follow, let's say, Jay Cutler's plan or a Ronnie Coleman's plan and say that you won't look like that.
But that generally happens, right? When I look at a great body, if I look at somebody like a Jay Cutler or a Ronnie Coleman, for example, and the gods of bodybuilding,
correct.
or I look at an actor and I say, hey man, I want that body because they've achieved it in the last 3 months or say 6 months. I want that kind of body, but that's a little difficult and that's over ambitious. I'm assuming.
It depends.
So here's the thing, right? I mean, you start lifting, you're not going to become Arnold Schwarzenegger. You start and you put in a startup, you're not going to be Elon Musk, right? I mean, there are obviously odds to it, number of years they've devoted to it.
Yeah.
And what circumstances they grew up in,
Right.
studied in, worked in, everything, right? The entire life is molded by certain events that happen throughout their life. It's not like that one thing they did, oh, you know what, he just started Tesla and it became a hit, right? He's done so many things before that.
Yeah.
The thing about, I mean, just to come back to what Vishnu said about coach-centric versus client-centric. Coach-centric is, okay, you know what, like you said, 1400 calories, drop it down, get everything done. It's sort of an ego massage for the coach at one level, saying, you know what, I did it like this, do it the same way, right? But the thing is that that'll help you to probably drop some weight very quickly at the end of the day. But you'll put on a lot of that back very quickly as well, because you're driven by motivation, you're driven by euphoria, you're driven by the novelty factor, and like, I just want to lose so much in 12 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. But to lose weight slowly, to lose weight sustainably, to lose weight over a long period of time and then maintain it, that means you have built sustainable habits, you have a better relationship with food, you have been able to carry through and make this part of your lifestyle, as people throw that word around all the time. And that is the real win, because fitness is not 12 weeks. I keep saying that fitness for the next 40, 50 years, right?
You said a very interesting point right now, okay? You spoke about driven by euphoria, driven by motivation, driven by that zeal कि मुझे आज कुछ करना है, I want to transform. Well, that's a good start. But you're saying that won't take you ahead for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because I remember you mentioned this in the previous episodes also.
I was about to bring out that
Yeah.
example of jump starting your car in the morning on a wintry morning, right? So you jump start your car on a wintry morning. It's great to get it started, but try doing that every day, or once a month to your car, and your car engine, battery, everything is going to conk off, right? So that motivation is just that. You can start it off once. You can do a 20-day challenge, 40-day challenge, whatever, one time. But then start doing it. Then you have to steadily increase the pace, keep it moving and keep it going.
Sustainability.
It's all sustainability. It's not a one-time event. Business can't be like, I'm going to start up a business today and do it. I'm going to make that 10 lakh investment in the stock market today and that's for life. No, you have to put. There are SIPs, there are ways to do it. Everything is based on that. You can't study for one day for 24 hours and pass any competitive exam. You have to study for months on end. So it's the same thing. I don't know. Yeah.
This is getting very serious, guys. I very, very serious conversation we're getting into. Let's break into a lighter note. What is the shittiest and the most fuck all advice you've ever heard or received?
I have taken a lot of. Have not taken a lot of advices.
You've given advices.
I've given a lot of shitty advice to people, but I have not taken many good advices. Now I stopped giving advices so much.
What is the most shittiest advice you've given somebody?
So when 10 years back, I used to be kind of a poster boy for leaving the job and doing the stuff that I like doing. Right, right out of college, 22, 23, I worked for 2 years with an MNC.
You must look into the camera and say this. Say this. You were the poster boy, admitted in front of camera.
No. So I left my job after 2 years working in a corporate, and then I came here, started working as a fitness coach.
Right.
And because it was immature and stupid, it's nothing else, right? It's not like following passion or anything like many people put it, right? 6 years down,
you made it.
6 years down the line, it worked. It worked. Right. 6 years down the line, right? At that time, I used to advise people that you should also do it. I mean, what are you doing there, kind of thing. Right?
Leave your job.
I'll leave your job and go for it. And I think I have actually inspired a few people to do that. If you're listening, you know who, right? So the problem is, I mean, you should be able to weigh in the responsibilities you have towards people around you.
Risk appetite.
Risk appetite, and you should not be delusional. And there's a certain age where you can take great risk, and there's a certain age where you should. So many other people are dependent on you.
Right.
It should not be all about yourself and delusional about what you can do while taking risks. We see only success stories. So, Ketan and I were other days talking about this survivorship bias, right?
Okay.
We read it somewhere.
Yeah.
We read
Tell
somewhere.
me something about it. Let us know about what is this about.
So Ketan will be able to explain better.
It's like how you only hear about the lottery winner who won so much. It's only about the startup successes who became unicorns.
Right.
It's only the people who got into extremely good shape. All the good workouts get posted.
Right.
All the happy love stories get posted about. All the great moments. But you don't post and know about all the failures that people go through every single day, right? Somebody's undergoing something in his marriage, he's not going to post about it. If he's had a shitty workout, that's not worth even talking about. Where he knows it's horrible, he's not going to talk about it. Startup failures just die away into oblivion and stuff like that. So what he's talking about is that when we focus too much only on the successes, you miss the 85-90% that actually don't make. And if you focus on what doesn't work, more often you would probably just make it, right? Because you know what to avoid, right? And that's again where coaches come, because they know what hasn't worked. It's like imagine, and I've said this again prior, in previous episodes, I keep saying this, it's a cheat code. You already know that there is a hurdle there. At this time, people who've been there, done that in maybe slightly different circumstances are able to guide you on that, right? So if you, and they focus on or rather apart from just the survivorship bias, and they're able to give you that sort of knowledge and experience, so you don't learn it the hard way.
And that's what a coach does then.
Exactly, that's what I said.
So in coaching, when you work with so many people over a period of time, you see patterns why people fail. And you when you're coaching 100 people, you may have 5 people who get amazing results, maybe 10 people. So you can either focus on that and say that the other people, it didn't work for them, kind of thing. Or if you look at why the other people failed, then you see patterns on where do people fail, right? And then we can solve for that. And that's where coaches do, right? They will be able to anticipate things. You see patterns,
right? Because they've experienced it, they've lived it.
They see the patterns. I've seen 3 other people who are going through a similar scenario that you are going through. I know we're going to stop. I need to push back or push you a little further. That's where coaching comes into the picture.
But if you really want to know why do we fail, go check out our first episode of the Alpha Coach podcast. Very, very interesting conversation about why do we fail. Moving ahead, we asked Vishnu about the most fuck all and shitty advice he received. Coming to you, my man, what is the most shittiest advice you've ever received or heard of?
I knew you were going to ask me that. And that's why I was thinking about what it was. But yeah, it's that there's one in particular that stands out apart from all the advice that I've got. Is about facing it till you make it, or face it till you make it.
Fake
rather.
it till you make it.
Fake it.
Oh, sorry, fake it till you make it. What am I saying? Yeah. And my counter to that is face it till you make it. Yeah. See, I don't like being put on the spot. Yeah. So that's that, right? It's about those guys who go to Dubai. They rent Lamborghinis. They'll fly private jets, or they may rent a private jet just to take a photo inside it.
Right.
They will go and stand in front of somebody
The
else's.
Instagram millionaires.
Yeah, Instagram trillionaires and millionaires and billionaires that you see all these handles on Instagram.
Right.
And that fake it till you make it is something that I think completely ruins everything. There was a study about Starbucks and how whether these are millennials or Gen Alphas or whatever is the latest
Gen Zs
and whatever Gen Zs and now Gen Alphas or whatever that are there,
Wow.
where people are.
Boomers are talking about Gen Z and Alpha and all that.
Am I a boomer?
I don't know.
Okay.
You should reveal your age. Don't do that.
No, I'm done doing that. Yeah, so it's about that as to how people are going broke just to keep up with that lifestyle. Like people earning some amount of money, spending all that money just to be seen at a Starbucks, just to be seen in the top restaurant.
Perception.
Yeah, but that's what. But the thing is that they can't afford. They can't make rent. They can't make. They're living on their credit cards. They are not being able to pay for general expenses. And they want to buy the kind of clothes that they would be perceived to
be cool or
cool in. Yeah, they need to only buy the best new iPhones. They need to be seen in the top restaurants, at the organic cafes and whatnot. And that's what typically happens now. All these are good things. I'm not saying one shouldn't be going there, right? No offense to any brand. But the idea is that you should be able to afford a lifestyle and actually go there for the genuine like for it, rather than just trying to fake it till you make it.
Yeah, that again takes us to our first episode where we spoke about motivators, having the right motivators. Why do you want as a particular thing? Is it because you want to prove a point to somebody, or is it because you want it? Check out that episode, man. What callbacks we're having. This is probably turning out to be a very chill session.
So interesting thought on that. Right. So I had a sneaker phase. Like I used to buy a lot of sneakers. Right?
Okay.
And one of my trainees who is like 60 plus made it in his life, right? And I was training him at that time, and he saw that I was wearing new sneakers. I said, "New sneakers?" He said, "Yeah." Then he told me that, and he has been noticing that I'm having many sneakers, right? You should make it a cool thing using the same sneakers for 4 years. No, that should be the cool thing. Getting new ones should not be the cool thing. That's all he said. I mean, it was cool. I mean, think about it. And there's another side of the impact of environment on buying all this stuff, right? Over and over again, and not using stuff enough. And you have excellent sneakers. You can probably wear it for 4 years, right?
But we keep buying and buying.
Buying it, and nothing against it. Some people feel happy about it. That should be a motivator. Nothing against it, but that should not be the aim, or that should not be the only motivator to
Yeah,
do stuff.
it's about doing what makes you happy, right?
Yeah.
Some
Right.
people invest in sneakers,
Yeah.
right? There are
Yeah.
sneakerheads
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
term,
yeah.
right? Shoe dog,
Yeah,
sneakerhead, all of
yeah,
these
yeah.
things. Some people like buying cars, some people like traveling, some people like eating at great restaurants. They like their food, right? They literally
Some people like managing time.
Yeah.
not really. I don't like, but I end up doing it. Being good at it and liking it is different.
He dissects everything, man.
Right? So the thing is that idea is that that should not lead to a downfall, and the
Right.
lead to ruin is the
Right.
simple thing. You have to have some element of thought going into what you're doing.
And
at
why?
the end of the day.
It's very important.
Yeah,
to ask
what
the
you're
question
doing.
why.
I mean, that thought is about asking yourself as to, if nobody were to see me wearing this, would I
Yeah.
still want to buy it?
Right.
If nobody were to see me owning this particular
Yeah.
watch or
Yeah.
this car,
Yeah.
nobody in the world got
Yeah.
to see it. Would I really die to this thing?
Yeah.
So that is your motivator. If you can find, and I'm not saying that I don't do it. Obviously, everybody's human, but you have to find that threshold.
You got to find that balance also.
You know how much. You don't
You know
go
your
in and
threshold. You know your level. You know your capacity. Like you said,
Yeah.
risk appetite.
Yeah.
Before we close this episode, I'm going to dissect your the Alpha Coach app a little bit over here, because we spoke about motivators, we spoke about personalization, hyper-personalization. Dude, using heavy jargon on a podcast, and I know you both are here. We're talking about motivation and you have to do this, you have to do that. But hey, man, people's motivational levels, their ability to handle stress, their capacity to function in a particular situation is very, very different. Everybody is different. My mood is changing every time. At every given point of time, I'm facing a new challenge. Could be personal, relationships, work. How are you guys going to manage all of that, man, through your your coaching? That's very difficult.
it's again. So we can't manage everything for you, right? Obviously, some personal things you may keep personal. You may share with your coach, whatever. But the thing is, here's a simple fact, right? If it becomes intuitive for you, if it's built around you, right, and it fits into your schedule, it is something that you find doable at this point of time with a slow
So
progression.
you're not going to impose it on me.
No. It's built in consultation with you, right? The hyper personalization is all that. It's not one thing that's personalized, saying, oh, you know what, you're this weight and therefore you eat so many calories, or you have this gym access, so therefore you go and do 3-day training, 4-day training, 5-day training. You you have to hit 10,000 steps a day. Every aspect of it, whether it's nutrition, training, the habits that are given to you, the step goals that you're given, basic stuff like sleep, etc., need to hit a certain mark because that those are good for you. Everything is hyper personalized, right? And I'll explain in a very, I hope the analogy is right, but think of this, right? You go with your family of 6, say, right? Your parents there, your wife's there, your cousins, anybody, right? 6 people go out to watch a movie,
Right.
right? And it's the interval. Great movie, everybody's excited, you want to go buy some food. Do you just go out there and get the same caramel popcorn for everyone,
No, there's variety.
right? Do you go and get a chicken burger for everyone?
No, different.
You ask them what they want.
Yeah, everyone's
What's-
taste is different.
Everyone's taste is different. Everyone's taste, or rather desire at that point, is different.
Correct.
Like some days I may want to eat salted, some day I might want a salted caramel mix, right? Some people don't
Cheese.
eat cheese.
Don't
Yeah.
don't forget
don't
cheese.
like,
I feel very bad. Just
I don't like cheese, but okay. But I won't judge.
you're cheesy, bro.
Right. No, but the thing is that if for something as benign and small and insignificant as a meal in an interval is hyper personalized by you for each individual family member, how can something as health be standard?
Yeah.
Right? How can you do it because another group is doing it? How can you do it because others are doing it? How can you do it because that coach just says, this is the way to do it,
Yeah.
and sends you an Excel sheet?
Wow.
It's beyond me, and that's what I struggled with. And now I've done this, right? I did it for 10 whole years. I tried doing all kinds of nonsense, download 30 online programs. All of them were cookie cutter or some level of customization based as some formulae based on my weight, age, whatever. But most of them really were that. Either, oh, it's carb cycling. Oh, you know what? It's intermittent fasting. Oh, this is a paleo diet. Oh, this is multiply your weight and put in a formula and you get your diet out. All of those things do come out. And guess what happened? I may have lost weight, like the initial great motivation in the beginning. And then I put it all back on because I didn't build any discipline structure and didn't fit into my schedule.
Wow.
And my life.
I love what you said, and I like how you wrapped things around and spoke about the fact that the ultimate basis is Sustainability.
Yeah.
I can start off with, with all the motivation in the world, but if I don't sustain those habits, if I don't build a certain lifestyle, we forget that fitness is about a lifestyle. It's not about going from point A to point B. Yes, that's very interesting because we spoke about this in our second episode, how to start and when to start.
Right.
We
Yeah.
said, okay, you can kickstart, it's great, but sustainability, building those habits. We all require help at some point of time in our lives. You, me, I've had help. I'm sure you guys have had help too. Life coaches, fitness coaches, anybody who has a certain skill set who can help us in the right path, in the right direction. It's just that you have to ask for help.
Yeah.
Asking is so important. Ask for help and take that help to go from awe to awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
How do I come up with all this? Like, Ketan, how? Sometimes I wonder how awesome.
I have
so
no
good,
clue.
yes.
I have no clue, my friend. No, but also to add to that, I think one is obviously accepting you need help is the first step. Asking for help, finding the right coach and asking for help, and then emptying your cup, because we all think we know too much. We start off with saying if you think you know it all, you don't know anything. So emptying your cup and opening up to that learning is, I think, the most important learning. Like even if you're a coach, like Vishnu has a coach. He's a coach. He's been a coach for so many years, but he has a coach who helps him, right? So everybody has a coach, and everybody needs a coach eventually.
On that note,
And before you end it,
yes.
take the straight long path.
Yeah.
It is the shortest way to success. People try all the hacks, all the shortcuts, but they're actually longer. So take the straight long path. It's actually the shortcut to success.
He's made some killer liners and come today on the episode. No, he's
Yeah.
like work extra hard so that we get more reels on him, so that we can slow-mo the camera on him and put some motivational music in the background. Kahan se bhai? Matlab, today has been absolutely epic and legend. So before you say cheers with that glass, empty it first. And like I always say, instead of being at the bar, be with the bar. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Alpha Coach Podcast. My name is Glenn, Ketan and Vishnu with us. We're signing off.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.